Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Today, to be honest with you all, I'm not feeling well because I tried to climb to Diamond this weekend. And guess what happened? I kept losing and losing and losing. Initially, I thought the issue was with my gameplay. But truth be told, the issue was with my solo laners. I was playing with a bunch of zombies on autopilot mode. They don't move at all. They either farm or die, and there is nothing to expect from them. I decided to do something different and impose on myself a new 3-layer rule with a fresh mentality and a new mindset towards winning. From this moment forth, we will have 3 items, and we will play to build our first item before reaching the 10-minute mark. Our rule construct is very simple. We will go Trinity Force if we are confident with our matchup or composition, or we already know the matchup. The second option will be going for Cosmic Drive against a dominant mage team or a full, and I will explain why in another game or dedicated video, but the main idea is mages do bad against movement speed. And the third option, if we have no idea what to build, we will go Heartsteel. And this is mainly due to my statistical search that this item does well regardless of the matchups and the win rate doesn't fall off later on in the game. About the new mindset, as you can see, we did something totally different this time. I just went directly for the red buff first. I knew that no one is helping Kane, and usually he starts with the chickens. But since this guy started with the red buff, I think he made a huge mistake. So the moment I was about to kill him, he ran away, and I thought to myself that the red buff would be enough to kill him. I think a lot of you would wonder what would happen you fail. Well, most likely I would have lived because I took Ghost and no one was there to help him. And he was low, so the only bad thing for me would have me losing tempo. So, yeah, it was a very risky call, but it had a lot of benefit for us. The second part is that I wasn't planning on doing my buffs yet. My new mentality is totally around ganking and getting my first item as fast as possible. From here on out, no more waiting for my team. We will be going for high-risk, high-rewards plays. Of course, we might more games until we master this game style. But the benefits with this technique is that the next patch, 14.10 Riot, will make a lot of changes. And with these changes, the game will be so much volatile that we will have room to climb faster with this risky gameplay. Since a lot of players wouldn't know what to build, we will have the upper hand if we pick an early game jungler with aggressive playstyle rushing offensive items. Of course, we can still lose the mid game or the late game, but we will have a better time playing this game and enjoying ourselves. And that is the most important thing about gaming. We must always seek enjoyment. The fact of winning or losing is merely a consequence of us enjoying the game. Maybe too much or too little will tilt us. But there should be always some amount of enjoyment that will enable us to play better and turn our spent time into quality time. Regarding our quality time, do you think playing against Lilia top is fun? I'm sure that this guy is not a normal person. This player must have some deep issues regarding his self-confidence, and let me tell you why. First, we can't reach him. Second, he does a lot of magic and true damage while running. And lastly, he likes a champion that is half a deer, half a woman. I have a feeling that only a small minority of Lilia mains are females. I wish if Riot can show us the statistics somewhere in the future. Thankfully, this guy is playing against Poppy. Now, between Lilia and Poppy, I'll definitely pick Poppy for one main reason. Her story in the lore is pretty epic, and it fits a female character. She is a Yordle that is entrusted with the hero's weapon, and while seeking this hero, she managed to use the weapon. Hence, she is the person that she wants to meet the most. Pretty beautiful and cool story. Nothing like the new broken female characters, no skill and no story, and make sure to throw big boobs somewhere in the splash art. Our gank will be the stepping stone for making Poppy's lane much easier. I got the vibe that he will be going full tank, no brain dive playstyle. The major rule in this game, to win against broken champions, you should pick a no-brain champion, so that your logic meter is calmed, and the gameplay is totally straightforward. If you didn't realize since the start of this gank, I was using Ghost and we still couldn't manage to catch this deer. So yeah, I need to check the average speed of bears against deer and to verify if actually a deer can outrun a bear under normal circumstances. So let's forget about this weird encounter for now. But the main idea behind this gank is to force Lilia to stay with low health, or recall to the base and give us the advantage when taking the grubs. But still, the enemy team tried to contest this objective, and we managed to take all the grubs except for one, and unfortunately, I died in the process. This death is very important. I found out that dying in the mid-game is crucial to keep a sane and normal healthy playstyle, and keep the correct mentality with Volibear, because the longer the games progress, your mind will start playing tricks on you, giving you a false sense of safety and forcing you to play in a safer manner. Hence, the solution is simple. You pick the right time to die, you kick the bucket around a major objective or while making a risky play, and you try to give the shutdown to the most stupid player on the enemy team. So pick whatever solution suits you the most, and with that, you will get off your KDA virginity, and you will keep making risky plays with the same sane mindset that we started with. When I said we should be playing risky, I didn't mean that we should be playing stupid. By now, you would have noticed that every time I try to gank a lane, I wait. And the main reason behind the delay in my decision and my action is that most of the time your ally will not be aware that you are near them. Hence, you need to have a feel regarding your synchronicity with your laners. In this game, I was sure that I was not in sync with anyone at all, except for Jinx in the early game. Hence, you shouldn't expect that your allies are on the same page with you, and that is why you should be patient. I even had to type patience in the chat so that my bot side would wait for Leona's ultimate to make the gank work. Also, regarding our early game invade, I think that we have won the mental warfare against Kayn. He only contests any objective when his team is nearby. I'm sure in his subconscious, he doesn't think he can win against me in a duel, and that is good for us. The good thing about our composition is that I know Volibear does well in prolonged fights with this setup, which is why the main combo that we are using in this run. We go and stun the main character in the proximity, then do all of our damage and keep a tiny bit of our resources to back off and force the enemy to follow us into our backline. Since we have Leona and Poppy, and this is a huge advantage that will allow us to play more freely in the team fights. It seems that even the enemy mid laner is starting to feel the difference in the performance of his top laner and the jungler. And this happened because of our early game ganks. Kassadin is a weird champion. He is very weak early game, but as soon as he gets to level 16, he becomes a totally different champion. And I'm sure that he's trying to stall the game to reach that stage. So far, the only good players on the enemy team are Varus and Kassadin, and I think that Varus is performing much better than our Jinx. Right now, we are around the 20-minute mark, and it is important to keep track of the time because if we kill any major target, we can force the Baron. And if we manage to kill the enemy jungler, we can do the Baron safely. So yeah, I stopped caring about the scores years ago. We are ahead, and we have the superior early game composition, but if we don't close this game as soon as possible, it will be the worst game that we can have as Volibear. All these champions are super late game champions. The moment they manage to make one perfect team fight or even take the Baron buff, we will be in a very tough situation. Our first goal was a success, and we are trying to get the Baron buff, and here's where you can sense the shift of the tides for this game. Our Poppy is someone who is totally zoned out of this game. He doesn't realize we are doing the Baron buff, and he only starts running to us when Lilia was about to kill him. And just like that, this call went from a nice call to a bad call, and the only option that was left is to back off now and try again later with the same approach. Kill someone, then force the objective. Now the player that was zoning out most of the game as a solo laner decided to run it down and engage, simply just like that, and lead us all to our death. Our dear Leona wanted to flame Fizz for not being there. Let me tell you something about this. You should never allow someone in the game to flame your MVP. The only one that should be flamed is either the one that is doing the bad plays, and in this example it is Poppy. I didn't stress much about that. The major issue is if the enemy takes the Baron buff, we will be reaching the start of the late game for sure. That is why I instantly hit the ghost, and I started running people down in the jungle. The moment I see someone, he is definitely dead. Luckily to us, they didn't start the buff, and we ended up killing the one guy that should die, and we got the Baron buff for free. You would assume that we are winning, but actually we are not. One of the major rules of this game is, no pressure, no winning. If your team is not pushing any lane, you are slowly losing no matter what the score says. So I took the initiative to push the sideline since there's actually nothing on the map to contest, so the only thing left to do is to push for victory. Regarding our build, I tried to switch it up and take the Zhonyas because, and listen carefully to this item is utterly broken. Have you ever wondered how long as a bruiser you stay alive in a team fight? I'll say roughly a maximum of 6 seconds if you get focused. Then how come mages often outlast their front lane? I'm sure not to their position with this much mobility in the game. This item, in my opinion, should be removed because it creates an unfair situation. And since I don't think Riot will deal with it, you should expect me to build it more often in the upcoming games. With this, my dear viewers, we are witnessing the last play of this game. This game was a breather for me because I got the weekend treatment, and it is hard to recover your mindset after losing so many games while playing the same champion. I hope you have enjoyed this one. Make sure to do the usual, hit that like button and leave me a comment regarding the horrors of the upcoming patch. I stopped playing Lethal Tempo solely to work out on the new patch, and forget about that rune before the new changes hit the live server. As always, make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I wish for you a good start to the week or whatever day I post this video. Take care everyone, and peace.